Mic check.
I'm going.
Check, please. Molly, talk.
Guys, I'm live. Shh.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WTVM News Leader Now. Sponsored by Montlick & Associates, Columbus Injury Attorneys.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. Chaos in the heart of London. 4 are dead, 3 victims and the suspect, and a number of others severely injured in an attack authorities are now treating as a terrorist incident. ABC's Molly Hunter is in London now with the very latest.
The attack started here on London's famed Westminster Bridge. A man plowing into pedestrians, killing a woman, before ramming a car into the gates around the Houses of Parliament. Police saying the man, armed with a knife, then breached security, attacked an officer who was guarding Parliament.
The senior national coordinator has declared this a terrorist incident.
Eyewitnesses described the scene as the chaos unfolded.
Saw all this commotion, looked over and saw a car crashed into a gate, a man down right next to that, and then saw police officers running around with machine guns.
The suspect, believed to have acted alone, was reportedly seen waving a knife just before being shot dead by police. For now, investigators are treating this as an act of terror.
Although we remain open-minded to the motive, a full counter-terrorism investigation is already underway.
Underway and ongoing. Police are still locking down this area, asking anyone with information to come forward as they continue to put those pieces together, trying to figure out who that attacker might be. Molly Hunter, ABC News, London.
And Europe has seen a number of terror attacks just in the past few years. In November of 2015, a series of attacks rang out in Paris where more than 100 people were killed. Today is the one-year anniversary of a suicide bombing attack in Brussels with 35 killed. Also in France in July of 2016, a truck rammed into a crowd in Nice, killing more than 80 people. And News 9 has you covered as the story continues to develop, with more coverage on our website, WTVM.com. If you go to the story under the national news section, you'll find a play-by-play of the developments, including a timeline of what happened. Also, much more coming up on World News Tonight right after News 9 at 6. Well, another beautiful early summer-like day across the valley today. Temperatures once again nice and warm, enticing folks outside to enjoy the day. You're looking live right now at Uptown Columbus from our Alpha Insurance Skycam. But things changing pretty drastically for tomorrow and this weekend. Storms could roll back in. Let's get more details now from meteorologist Mallory Schnell in the Storm Team 9 Alert Center.
Thanks, Barbara. It has been another beautiful day across the valley, but cooler air is on the way, especially for tomorrow. You can see the gradient of temperatures already this afternoon. 73 degrees, the high in LaGrange, but down in Columbus, 81. So that cooler air will continue to filter in from the north, and it's even more apparent on the 24-hour temperature change map. So we are cooler than what we saw yesterday, not near that 90-degree mark this afternoon. 18 degrees cooler in LaGrange and 14 degrees cooler in Alexander City. Now, Now, in addition to the cooler air, we are starting to see a few more clouds filter in from the north and some of those isolated sprinkles around. There's that 10% chance of rain, but most of us should stay dry as we carry on throughout the rest of the day into the evening and overnight hours. Those temperatures remaining warm and mild tonight, just dropping down into the 50s by the early morning hours. But I'll have more on the cool down and the storms ahead this weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Mallory, thank you. Homeowners in Marion County say they have gone days without clean water. News Leader 9 has received numerous calls from residents asking for help with what they say is a big issue. And our Parker Branton joins us live from Marion County, where he spoke with some of these residents. And Parker, when did they say this all started?
Barbara, this has been going on for 3 days now, since Monday, and one of the residents tell me that she was filling up a bottle of water when she shortly realized after that her whole entire bottle was brown. She says she went on to speak with the county and to find out they already knew about the water situation and didn't send a warning to let anyone know. This video shows another resident who filled his bathtub with water to show the county that it was so brown that at one point his hand almost disappears. A homeowner I spoke with that didn't want to reveal his identity says he talked with someone at the fire department that said they were told not to use the hydrant, so he calls the county to try to get to the bottom of what is going on.
This is what got me the most was I was told, he made the statement, well, you wouldn't have known if you'd not been filling up a larger container like a pool. Really? And then I asked him, so you won't let the fire department fill up their trucks, but you're going to backwash and flush your systems through our homes.
He went on to tell me that this water issue will end up costing him more money because he just bought some new equipment for the pool that will need repair. Barbara?
Curious, Parker, did you speak with the county about this, and if so, what are they saying?
Well, Barbara, I spoke with County Manager Jason Tinsley, and he told me that he's also gotten numerous calls, and they tell me that they got a new well system, and that is what is causing the backwash of water. But he says that the water has been tested by the Georgia Environmental Protection Division and is safe to drink. We'll have more on this story coming up on News Leader 9 at 6. We're live in Marion County. Parker Branton, WTVM News Leader 9.
All right, Parker, thank you. And coming up at 6, you'll hear more from concerned citizens who say they have what they have to say about these problems as well. That's again on the news at 6. Well, it was a record day for Georgia lawmakers as the legislature approved a $25 billion state budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Our Chandler Morgan joins us live now in studio, breaking down where the money from this budget is going. So, Chandler, I understand this budget means significant pay raises for quite a few departments and folks, right?
Absolutely, Barbara. This new budget that was passed, it's very, highlighted on 3 certain areas according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, beginning with teachers and state employees. The budget provides a 2% pay increase for teachers and most state employees, along with child protection workers receiving a raise of 19%. Now that number is totaling in at more than $360 million. It's also affecting construction. The state plans to spend more on new schools, buildings, roads, and bridges, including fixing the ones that they've already built. So that number will be totaling in at more than $2 billion. And lastly, if you're a student, the budget also affects you with Hope Scholars seeing 3% larger in scholarship funds. The budget also hoping to turn around low-performing schools, which Governor Nathan Deal said was one of his major second-term priorities, and that number will be totaling in at $2.2 million. So a lot of numbers there, but doctors, dentists, and nursing homes and other medical treatment professionals will also be affected by this budget, as they will receive increasing payments for treating Medicaid patients. And the next steps for this newly approved budget will be moving into the hands of Governor Nathan Deal for his official signature. Barbara?
Yeah, quite an ambitious budget. Chandler, thank you so much. And Governor Deal voicing support for lawmakers and the budget deal on Twitter today. He posted the following comment saying, "I applaud the General Assembly for passing my 2018 budget. It addresses today's critical needs and promotes Georgia's long-term economic health." In Alabama, a proposed crackdown on recent threats made against schools and religious facilities. State Senator Roger Smitherman of Birmingham wants to expand Alabama's hate crime law, adding additional penalties for those convicted of sending threats to schools, churches, and facilities like Birmingham's Jewish Community Center. The center has received 3 bomb threats in recent months.
First, a deterrent and providing a means of punishing people who make these kind of threats and put our people in a peril like they do.
An Islamic center in Hoover has also received threats recently. Senator Smitherman says he expects to get widespread support for the legislation. A heated exchange between 2 Waffle House employees in Auburn has now been viewed more than 100,000 times on social media. Take a look.
Hey! Let me call 911.
This video taken inside the Waffle House on Opelika Road Sunday. Witnesses say the 2 women started fighting over who was going to do the dishes. We reached out to Waffle House corporate, who says they are investigating the incident. Well, tonight, the Alabama law enforcement agency, ALEA, says it plans to hire a number of troopers to address the statewide shortage. ALEA says it's looking for recruits 21 and older with a high school diploma or GED, a clean record, and can pass a physical test. The agency says the application process will be competitive, and those with certain experience will have an advantage. In the Southeast, Alabama ranks low with 259 troopers. That's compared to Florida with more than 1,100, and Louisiana and Georgia each having more than 500 state troopers. In Lee County today, Goodwill hosted an event to help combat the jobless situation in the county. News Leader 9's Rosanna Smith has the details on how this event is changing the game for those looking for work.
It's here at the Raintree Community Center, which is part of the Opelika Housing Authority, where Goodwill on the Go set up shop to help connect job seekers with potential employers. This mobile initiative is designed to provide free career services to people with limited or no access to transportation. This location was chosen because it's within walking distance of many of the homes and eliminates any hurdles for those who are looking for a job. Dozens of residents from in and around the area who have faced some financial challenges were able to register for on-site interviews with different companies looking to fill open positions.
It's a win-win situation because a job is the first step in helping them to gain self-sufficiency and eventually move out of public housing, obtain home ownership, and keep on going. So, you know, a job is really important.
This is the second year Goodwill on the Go has made a stop here. Rosanna Smith in Opelika, WTVM News Leader 9.
And the Goodwill Career Center in Opelika is located on Pepperell Parkway and is open from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Obamacare is making their lives so much more difficult.
The debate over health care raging on Capitol Hill, how lawmakers on both sides are making their cases today. And a major retail store operator may still be in trouble despite closing dozens of locations, why Sears and Kmart locations around the country may disappear if the company can't find a money solution.
And if you're heading to the Gulf, looks like some rain is possible this weekend. I'll have more on our own rain chances here in the Chattahoochee Valley coming up after the break.
from your Storm Team 9 Alert Center, WTVM meteorologist Mallory Schnell.
Good evening and welcome back to News Leader 9. What we're looking at here, this is a compilation of storm reports over the last 24 hours. And if you remember yesterday evening, I was tracking that system that was moving southeastward across Tennessee, North Alabama, North Georgia, and parts of the Carolinas, and really wreaked some havoc in its path. A lot of wind damage, a lot of hail reported, heavy rain and lightning. Luckily, here in the valley, we did luck out. You can see it did narrowly miss us as it headed to the coast. Now, this afternoon, we're seeing a much different picture. You can see here on the satellite radar, pretty calm conditions. Most of us staying dry, just a few of those scattered showers, maybe a few sprinkles around, but clouds are increasing from the north. So this is something that's going to be a change as we head throughout the rest of the work week. We won't be seeing as much sunshine as we started the work week with, as more clouds do increase from the north. Now, cooler air is also filtering in. So while we did see another above average day for the valley, you can see that cooler air here. So it's 74 degrees in Auburn, but it's still 83 in Albany, 63 in Huntsville. And this cooler air will continue to filter in as we head throughout the evening and the overnight hours. And we'll be able to feel that difference in the temperatures as we head into tomorrow. And you can see that here on these bar graphs. So for Thursday, 66 degrees the forecasted high. So those highs topping out in the 60s, a big difference from what we saw today and especially yesterday as we got close to record-breaking highs. But that cool down won't last for long. We're back in the 70s for Friday and Saturday, 80 degrees by Sunday. It looks like we'll stay warm for the end of that 9-day forecast. But tomorrow, it'll be cooler. It'll also be windy out there. Those winds picking up from the north, filtering in that cooler air. It will be breezy. So we could see wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. You can see that there, 13-mile-per-hour winds in Columbus going up to 15. So a bit of a breezy afternoon, and those winds will die down as we head throughout Thursday evening and into the overnight hours. But tonight, remaining primarily calm, those temperatures dropping down into the 50s, so pretty comfortable out there. And then for your forecast tomorrow, once again, a cooler day on tap. We'll be able to feel that difference, so you may need a jacket. Those highs just in the 60s with more cloud coverage around. And that extended forecast showing those temperatures warming back up for the end of the week, but then we do have storm chances in the forecast. I want to draw your attention to Saturday and Sunday, a 30 to 40% chance of some storms, some of which could be strong. We'll continue to keep our eye on that. And then as we head into next week, those 80-degree temperatures are back as we dry out for Wednesday and Thursday.
And as we've been talking about, this weekend could be a travel time for folks either coming back from spring break or heading out on spring break. And I know you'll have a better idea of when those storms might move in as we get closer, right?
Yes, we'll continue to keep our eye on that. And if you do travel, a great tool to have is the WTVM weather app. You can track the rain along with us.
And get all the alerts as they come in as well. All right, Mallory, thank you so much. It is day 3 up on Capitol Hill as Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch is asked a new batch of questions in his ongoing hearing.
I speak for me. I am a judge. I am independent. I make up my own mind.
Just this morning, he was asked about what he thinks about aggressive interrogation. Take a listen to how he responds on this key issue.
My recollection of 12 years ago is that that was the position that the clients were telling us. I was a lawyer. My job was as an advocate, and we were dealing with the detainee litigation.
Gorsuch needs the support of some Democrats to be confirmed. Just today, Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin says that he doesn't believe Gorsuch has enough votes. To the battle over health care raging on Capitol Hill as well. The Republican bill now in the hands of the House Rules Committee. President Donald Trump must get 216 Republicans to vote yes on the bill. Trump was rallying supporters of the bill at a Women in Healthcare panel earlier today. Meanwhile, Democratic leaders voicing opposition to the plan to repeal and replace Obamacare as they mark the 7th anniversary of its passing.
He led the way and signed the bill because he believed that health care for all Americans is a right, not a privilege just for the few. And that is what we believe, and that is what drives us.
Obamacare is making their lives so much more difficult, as we all know, and putting enormous barriers in the way of helping patients.
A vote on the bill could come as soon as tomorrow. Meantime, the White House is distancing itself from former campaign manager Paul Manafort. He's becoming a focus of the investigation into contacts between Trump associates and Russians. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer talked about the developments at the press briefing today, saying Manafort played a limited role in the campaign. Sources saying Manafort secretly worked for a Russian billionaire to advance the interests of Russian President Vladimir Putin. With a busy week in Washington, a good way to stay on top of all of the developments is by going to our website, Wtvm.com, and by clicking on the First 100 Days blog. That's under the Home tab. You can also find the latest social media posts from President Trump and much more ahead on today's developments coming up at 6:30 on World News Tonight. A furniture staple in the community is in the final stretch of being open. Find out how much longer you have to shop at Raymond Road Furniture before they close for good. And a great way to stay up to date with the top stories is by downloading our WTVM mobile app. Just search WTVM in your app store. You see here some of the top stories they're making news, including breaking news there at the top. Download it to get those updates 24/7. The company operating Sears stores saying today it may face trouble staying in business unless it can borrow cash. USA Today reporting the company says concerns are at an all-time high despite already announcing widespread store closures. In January, Sears said it planned to close 150 stores in a restructuring plan to help save money. They're hoping the closures will save up to $1 billion. Sears Holdings operates both Sears and Kmart stores. And a few of our local Kmart's and Sears locations are closing soon. We told you about the Sears location on Whittlesey Boulevard. This location will close and clear out shelves by Sunday. The Kmart locations on Macon Road in Columbus and the Phoenix City location will also close by Sunday. The stores have already started and are wrapping up their bargain sales in anticipation of the closures. Kmart on Airport Thruway is not closing at this time. To an update now, shoppers are taking advantage of last-minute deals at Raymond Row in Columbus. We first told you back in February they were closing after 74 years of business. Today, we're learning they are still open, at least for the next couple of months. The store has been open at its Broadway location since the early 60s. Well, March Madness is in full swing, and for a lot of you, your college basketball brackets are probably already busted. You might be surprised to know some babies in Wisconsin are still doing quite well. One church sat down with one-year-olds and had them make their picks. One of the babies is such a basketball fan, he is wearing Air Jordans.
We held up numbers like 1 versus 8. There we go, number 8. Good job. And we had them go through the numbers and pick which one they wanted. Some of them are actually doing better than us as teachers.
That's exactly how I picked mine. 9 of the babies still have a team in the Final Four. The teacher says one of them is standing out from the others, though. She says he picked North Carolina to win it all. We will see what happens. Well, that is going to do it for us tonight at 5. We're back with more late-breaking headlines in just a couple of minutes. The news at 5:30 is coming up next. Alabama's governor and some state lawmakers are pushing to repeal the state grocery tax. Find out how much money this would put into the pockets of families if it passes. That's coming up.
Hey, Tim, what's up? Not much here in Opelika again. Don't tell me that.